Playing Clash Royale until MK gets here. It's really loud. I'm not gonna lie. play not E-Giant Cycle, but pretty much E-Giant Cycle. It's a bit expensive for Cycle, but E-Giant's my win condition. Fisherman is just to pull mini tanks and tanks, or any larger defensive card off of it. Firecrackers for the splash damage, and also just the big chip damage. Bats help with buildings, and Rocket obviously helps with cycle and killing larger tanks that I would normally be able to handle with my honestly not great defensive deck. Go. Okay. I wonder if there's some type of like this is fine. That's gonna get death damage, but that's it. Nothing major either. Let's get our fisherman down the center. Get this guy. Straight away. That's a bit of an overcommit, but I'm expecting E-barbs. Honestly, I would have just committed from the start completely. We waste the Evo there a bit. Probably gonna Lumberloon the bridge. For it. Do you have to put on a new one, or what's the deal?
Well, I just got it today, and I put it on, and I
Okay, chat. I don't know if you can hear me right now. I don't know which one reads my voice. I'm not sure. Now that you can hear me and we're done with that loser, it's time to play Minecraft. We're getting it pulled up right now, and then it'll be go time. Bum, 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 bum. Minecraft. Why is this taking so long? What happened if I do this and then I do? Whoa, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm waiting for the Minecraft launcher to open, but it doesn't seem to want to be doing that. Minecraft. Well, until then, we're gonna wait. Watching YouTube shorts. Grian posted, no, Mumbo posted a new video today. So I was gonna watch it, but I didn't know if you wanted to watch it together. Let me see if I can find it. Mumbo Jumbo. Mumbo Jumbo. So man, why won't the Minecraft launcher work? Wonder if the Wi-Fi is struggling right now. Nothing's really working. I won't even lie.
I've installed something in my game that I'm not. I just started a new vanilla Minecraft survival series on the Hermitcraft server, and this is my starter base. In turbines, which are in theory powering my little house over here. I also have a flock of animated geese, which I'm incredibly proud of, but that's besides the point. I personally think these wind turbines look absolutely adorable, but I can't
We're reacting
get
to
out
this.
of my head the fact that they kind of look like fans. And it turns out there's a reason for this. Time to head into a creative mode testing world. I was reading through the comments of the previous episode, and a few sciencey people were mentioning that the wind wouldn't pass through this, obviously, because it's solid, so thus the turbine wouldn't actually turn all that much. Like, for the blades to be moving at this speed with a design this inefficient, it would be chaos. I'm going to be honest, these comments kept me up at night. I was trying my best to think of solutions to this. Obviously, with a traditional windmill, the sails would extend way past the structure and spin around like that, but I'm just powering trapdoors. That isn't really possible for me, but I probably can make something hollow. So let's give this a whirl. If I just create one of these, something like this, then send observer signals out like this, have them power blocks like this, and then place trapdoors on the faces of all of those blocks, and trapdoors on the inside of all of the blocks, and on the outside of all of the blocks. Then I think to keep this slim, I can probably use shelves on the corners. We should be in business. Now all I need to do is power this to turn it off, and then power it to turn it on, turn down my master volume, and immediately, what the heck? That is so much better. That immediately looks like that actually is a functional thing, and it's moving slightly slower. Oh my goodness, seeing these two together, that is endlessly better. That actually looks like it's being propelled by the wind. My goodness. Oh, that's such a simple, tiny change as
Very
well.
cool.
Like, if I just chuck that on this.
I want to try to get.
But I think we can go bigger. So now let's create a 7x7 area of observers going around like this. I'm using the exact same method as before. I've got all the trapdoors on the outside, now for all the trapdoors on the inside, and then all of the trapdoors on the outside. Then we have the shelves, and that should send a blade around. Now I'm thinking, for the center, how bad does it look if I just leave it static? It's not a good start, to be honest with you. It's not looking good, but I wonder if when we get two blades in, it will start to look okay. I mean, I'm not sure.
Save on new appliances at Best Buy.
I mean, it's not dreadful, but definitely. Yeah, we need some animated trapdoors in that central 3x3 area. Oh, and I don't really want a ring of observers in the middle there. Here's what I'm thinking. Light grey glass is really transparent. So if I can just build up something like this. These ones are going to be tricky to power. I wonder if we can leave those ones and only have the trapdoors on the top and bottom work, and then these almost act like smear frames. Smear frames are like motion blur frames that are used in hand-draw animations, and I think your brain will fill in the gaps with the fence gates. I'm hoping they will anyway. Now, I just need to connect up the redstone, which actually, because observers are transparent, I can go up like this. But that transparency is a double-edged sword because it means I can't go down like this, so I'm having to do something really ugly here, but I guess this is just a proof of concept. Oh, have we got the timings right immediately? Hey, that's not terrible. I think it just needs a little bit of delay, and the pulse length needs to be extended a bit because this one here and this one here are flicking on too fast. It's a one-tick pulse, so they're kind of appearing and disappearing too quickly. But this is not a bad start, you know. What if I make a 3-tick pulse? How does that look? Is that all right? Or 2 ticks? 2 ticks? 2 ticks? Turn everything off. turn everything on with 2 blades. It looks good from back here. Let's have a look. Yes, 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 they are working. Those 2 fence gates not being animated is not making a difference in my brain. Oh my goodness, that actually looks super cool. So we've got the small one, which now doesn't really
My
look like
goodness.
a windmill or wind turbine at all. I still love this. I think this works really well. This is fantastic though. This is working perfectly. If I now increase the pulse length to 3 ticks, does that make it better? Well, I don't know. I think this is better, but I've just had a thought. What if I could get 3 blades going? So I've set up this circuit which will send redstone pulses into the system 7 ticks apart from one another, which means that the blades should be almost perfectly evenly spaced. And that does look good. It does look good, but it looks a tiny bit more slushy. I'm not sure this middle section is working quite as well for the 3 blades as it does for the 2. We might have to come back to this one. For now, I want to see if I can make things even bigger. I think I might be reaching the limit where things definitely no longer look good. 100%. I've only had to do 1 corner to see this is not working. Okay, maybe I'm getting somewhere with this idea. And funnily enough, I've added a little bit of swish to the end, which I think if we can carry that through the entire design, then we might actually be onto a winner. You know what? I mean, I've been building these things for a long time. I am going slightly insane, but I actually think this is kind of worked out. Editor Mumbo here. What the heck was I talking about? That thing was wiggling all over the place. I'm deleting all the future clips that I have of me being positive about that one. Now, just as I was about to settle on the medium-sized design being the best, I decided to procrastinate a little bit by going on Reddit, and it turns out that wasn't a terrible idea because CK has designed a stop-motion windmill. This relies on frames instead of an observer clock, and it's pretty cool. Now, the first thing that came to mind to try and get rid of the block noise is to use dispensers with powdered snow instead, but honestly, this looks super redstoney. I still can't stop laughing at that thing wiggling about in the background. So I've also decided to go down the same route as CK, and I've created this. This red area is the area that I assume would be taken up with the windmill. You know what? This might actually end up working quite well with not that much visible redstone. Yeah, I mean, I've created a redstone clock here, and I've got the working animation going, and there's only a handful of redstone lines that are sitting on the outside. And I would say, yeah, with the proper decoration, I do think this would end up looking really, really cool. So now I'm left with a really tricky situation, because in theory, like, this is a considerably bigger windmill and looks more windmill-esque.
Hi, Bella.
The Subaru Share the Love event is proud to donate millions of dollars to charities like the ASPCA.
Get zero.
However, this back here, even though there is more redstone, like there's a lot more blocks and things making up part of it, I feel like I can use this in a build a lot easier. Like, I think I can integrate this ring into a nice looking structure, whereas this is very visible. This seems a lot harder to build around, whereas I think I can make this work. So now let's take that raw redstone contraption and start decorating. And my first goal for this is to maintain the same block palette that I used for the wind
It had
turbines
an
on the
ad?
Minecraft server. That's one thing that I think went really well. I
That's
love the look of the
funny.
mangrove, all of the tough blocks and the rusty copper. I love that combination, and I think that works nicely for the theme
Or
of
was
the
it?
base.
Was it?
But with this build being
Mumbo's
slightly
video, or
larger,
did
I've
it-
got more opportunities to firstly add
Down
a
there.
handful of extra electrical gubbins and just random bits and
I
bobs
can't get
to
my
the
Minecraft
structure
launch
itself,
pad
but
open.
also I have more opportunities to play around with gradients and shading. So I've decided that for the base I want to have almost like a reverse gradient from what you would expect. Normally things get darker towards the bottom, but I like the idea that this windmill is sort of shading the top of the base. I've tried to take into account the shadows underneath all the electrical bits, and I've even thrown in a handful of glass panes just to finish off the effect. Now, just out of pure curiosity, I also put the old windmill next to the new windmill. And I gotta say, I mean, firstly, you have to ignore the fact that they're both rotating in different directions, but I gotta say, I am a huge fan of the new design. This build on the right is
Hello.
fantastic, but
Oh my
it
gosh,
does...
Mama Jumbo
It kind
video
of, you
together.
kind of have to tell
We're watching
yourself
them
that
together
it
right
isn't
now.
a wind turbine. This
Yeah, but
might
I
be
wanna
one of my
watch
favorite
it and be
recent
able to
builds. It's just
commentate with you.
so incredibly satisfying. And the
the
further I
chat
get
and
away
the
from
video
it,
is, like,
the
literally
less and
almost
less
over.
you can actually see the redstone components on the inside, and now it just looks It looks like it's powering itself. Oh my goodness, I just loaded it up with three blades, and that might be the